This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor. DrinkBodyArmor.com. Get your edge.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Here comes John Morant, dribbles up into some full court pressure. He's quick, dodges, flowing by the defense, going coast to coast. One man to beat, and it's the big man. John leaps up. Oh, and hammers.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for John Morant to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW Sports Edition with DW, Mr. Tom Greer, and Snacks.
Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday night edition Today with DW. It is the sports edition. The boys are back.
Hola.
A lot of news going on.
I got my third shot.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Greer.
Hello.
Snacks.
I did. I put it up there that I got my third shot. You would have saw how many comments I got. Asking, there's a third shot? Yeah. You didn't know that? I mean, I figured everybody was telling me I'm going to grow a tail and have a third eye.
There you go, Hank. We're giving you, the crowd is going nuts. A lot of news going on, and guess what? There's no baseball news. Yes, it's going to be a great episode. Yes, it's a great episode. How many days, Tom?
What do you mean there's no What do you mean there's no baseball news? There's plenty of baseball news. 16 days, though.
16 days.
16 days. 16 days.
I omitted it.
16 days, and then 16 days, and then you're just going to be forced to have to talk. That's all there's going to be.
Didn't you hear our governor put it on pause?
Yeah, he put baseball on pause.
Turn the spigot.
Yeah.
What's going on, Al? Welcome, Tim. Any baseball news that came into the feed today that was sent to me by Mr. Greer just kind of got annihilated. We don't
got deleted. Deleted.
Okay.
But we got
Fair
cornhole. Hey, listen, I have to, Tom does a lot of the setup. People don't know Tom does a lot of the setup and all the sports content for the show. I try to do some non-sports stuff, but I've been asking Tom now for almost months. We've been doing this about 4 or 5 months. Cornhole.
I gave you a cornhole story. I gave you a cornhole story.
I don't have a cornhole story in my
not this week, but I did in fact give you a cornhole story. But
once
you didn't.
I had to go out of my way. I had to go out of my way and find a cornhole story, and you get paid for playing cornhole. How could you not find that?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Who gets paid for playing cornhole?
I sent it to you in the feed. You don't
professional cornholers.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get paid. I thought you said Tom got paid.
No,
I did not.
I sent you the link in our private chat. That there is a company, which we'll talk about in a minute before we get into the show, that will pay you to play cornhole.
Hell yeah.
Al says sorry, Tom. I love baseball too. Al, I'll see you on Saturday. He's gonna go to
Al.
He's gonna go to the Shirt Factory event this Saturday. So
lucky you.
Yeah, you're going elsewhere. Where are you going?
I have to go to the Empire Football League meeting for the Green Jackets on Saturday, and then Sunday we are traveling to Corning, New York for college softball.
Cool. Well, good luck. Good luck on that. Hopefully we.
I didn't get to go this week because I had to get my second shot on Saturday. So Coach Celeste had to go out and go to Finger Lakes in about 43 degree weather and play 2 games. They won the first game 25-7, and we won the second game 17-9 or 17-11.
Holy crap!
But they didn't get done until almost 7:30. They started at 1.
And if everybody doesn't know who Coach Celeste is, that's Jack Celeste from Coach's Corner Food Truck. One of a proud endorser of our show. That Today with DW, great food there.
I think he's bowling.
You think he's what?
I think he's bowling tonight. Tuesday night's bowling night.
Tuesday nights, because he says he can't watch the show live because he's bowling. So before we get in the show, and I was joking with Tom about the cornhole. So I don't know what it is about this thing about cornhole. I think we're going to start producing earplug podcast cornhole boards. I think we're going to have a tournament this year. I don't know what it is about cornhole, but
it's an amazing game.
It is.
That's
fun.
what it is.
Yes, it is a fun game. So Lawn Company wants to pay you. That's right. You $1,000 to play cornhole. True Green is currently accepting entries for their Get Paid to Play Cornhole contest. This article is coming from Travel Plus Leisure. Says the ideal candidate for the job obviously should have a great enthusiasm for cornhole, a strong sense of play, enjoys being outdoors, and can safely socially distance while playing. Well, in cornhole, it's definitely longer than 6 feet apart.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure cornhole at its peak, that is social distancing. That's the perfect social distancing sport.
Exactly.
Oh, it's throwing a hand grenade, but I'm not.
The chosen candidate will need to play the game on 5 separate days during the month of April and complete worksheets for each time they play. To enter the contest and to read the complete terms and conditions, head over to mytrugreenlawn.com. Now it's MyTruGreenLawn.com. All entries must live in the United States and must be at least 18 years old to participate. The deadline is April 5th, 2021. They did not say where. I think you might be able to play on your own or in your own. You don't have to travel anywhere. So I think you have to do that and videotape it, but I'll give you some more information as I go. I might try it. What the hell? I mean,
if you're going to get paid to play cornhole, I mean, that's
$1,000 for 5 days.
$1,000. That's nothing.
Nothing.
Like $1,000, 5 days, and you're playing cornhole. That's like, what else do you have to do? That seems like an easy $1,000.
Yeah, totally easy $1,000.
Name a more enjoyable way to get $1,000.
You have to. We reported this on last week. You can also get paid $1,000 if you watch all 5 seasons of Friends.
I'd rather play cornhole.
Yeah,
I'd rather play cornhole.
Damn. Okay. All right.
I mean, Friends is okay, but I mean, like, I'd definitely rather play cornhole than sit down and watch Friends. Come on now.
Wow. Okay. Well, for the lazy people, you can watch.
Get out and play cornhole. It's about to be springtime.
Yes, it is.
That's
true.
why everybody loves cornhole so much, because it just makes everybody think of summertime and barbecues and everything.
I agree.
I run an indoor training facility, and I don't even play cornhole inside.
You should be playing cornhole.
I have people that come in there and do that. But.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk to somebody. Any of our listeners want to make us an official earplug podcast / Today with DW cornhole boards? That'd
be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have fun. We'll do it. All right, gentlemen, let's get into today's show because we are not doing any non-sports segments today because I think the topics that we have are going to take us to the full hour. I think there's a lot going on. And like I said, there was no baseball, so it kind of made me happy. So let's get right into today's show.
Does that mean no polls?
No polls today. No polls. No.
I mean, you know what? I just want to let you know they've been growing on me here. But I haven't been ever since that egregious Bo Jackson poll. I'm fine. They've been good.
Listen, I'm still stewing from last year's Spices.
Oh, wait until you see what's coming to the studio.
I don't even want to know.
Wait until you go. Wait until
cool.
you see what's coming. Tom knows what's coming. You wait to see what's coming in the studio.
Oh, that's why you're dying to get me into the studio next week.
I don't know if it'll
now
come
that I've
here
had both my shots.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be here in the studio by next week, but it's coming. You'll see. But anyway, let's get into today's show, shall we? Drew Brees retires. What does that mean for the Saints? Cam is still playing with the Pats. And is Texas really making a smart move with no mask? NFL free agent fun, all that and more. Grab your drinks, everyone. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Kyler Murray drops back, looks downfield. Here comes the blitz. Murray finds an opening. And sideline dives, and he misses. He's got daylight. Murray sprinting, picking up speed.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for Kyler Murray to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday night edition of Today with DW, the sports edition from Mr. Tom Greer from Grindhouse Radio.
Hello.
Chase Sports Complex, and the Green Jackets. We have a fun
softball
episode.
coach, whatever.
Yeah, fourth ward.
This last 3 weeks has just been crazy with everything with high school sports too.
Now, you know what? Obviously we're talking locally here in upstate New York and what's going on. Can you fill us in a little bit on what's going on locally about the sports? I mean, obviously it's different all around the country, but obviously COVID is still important or still impactful to our society right now. But can you give our listeners a little bit of a background on what's kind of going on here locally in upstate New York?
So up here in New York State, upstate New York is basically they're in what they call fall 2 sports right now. So volleyball, football, field hockey, soccer, boys and girls soccer are in play. So everybody's trying to find, of course, someplace to practice inside because the outside fields, a lot of them have grass fields and they're mud.
Right.
So they don't have turf. So Chase Sports right now, because of a tragedy that happened over at the Dome where it got deflated because of the snowfall. We're the only thing in town right now, and it's just trying to accommodate everybody and move things around so that some of these teams can get in there and practice. Glens Falls has they have a turf field, so they're practicing outside and things like that, but they were inside for a couple of days and then went outside. We put the volleyball court in, which has been huge because the varsity volleyball teams needed a place to practice because they can't get in the gyms because basketball is still going on.
Right.
So it's been insane.
What is the state or what is the consensus of allowing high school sports now? Are they going to allow football? Are they going to allow track? Or are they going to do any of that? Or are they still kind of in like discussion?
No, they're playing right now. Football's been practicing for 2 weeks.
Okay. Nice.
So they're gonna play. They're playing a shorter schedule. They're playing from I think they got a scrimmage game Sunday, and then they did away with a lot of the rules on practices in 7 days waiting period, things like that for how many days before you put pads on.
I also noticed that some of the smaller schools have merged, and
well, that wasn't because of COVID. That was stuff that they were working on.
Okay.
Prior to that, they were working on trying to do that and the numbers and things like that. But
Gotcha.
When it comes down to the COVID thing, it's just that, you can only have limited numbers and you can have limited sports because a lot of schools are busing schools. You got to bus from travel to, A to B.
Right.
So they're trying to keep everything close. So there's not that much, busing. It's just,
I hope they have track this year. I mean, obviously technically that is a social distancing sport in a way.
Yeah. You think so?
And if you run fast enough, you're going to be 6 feet away from the other person.
Well, the indoor sports. So here's the thing: the indoor sports versus the outdoor sports is that you're out in the air. Where the indoor sports, you're confined in an area, so you don't have fans inside. You don't have, the numbers like you might have 20 kids on a team. You only can have 15 because you can only bus so many on one bus.
Right.
So there's a lot of restrictions that they're having to follow this year. So it's up in the air. It's a lot of work for the coaches too to try and figure it out. The athletic directors. The thing is the state basically turned around and said, you can do this, but it's on you guys.
Right.
They made them figure it out. They had to reinvent the wheel in order to be able to do sports. So, you've got JV and varsity sports in some of the sports like volleyball and all that, but you don't have modified. So now the modified kids aren't playing. So that's something that we're doing at Chase is like right now we just opened up volleyball for modified age level so they can come down there and play. I mean, they got to pay to do it, but still. We got a good, safe environment down there, so we figured why not? So we're doing that, and now we're being asked by some of the kids that didn't make the team because they had to restrict the numbers. So some of the kids didn't make the team because of that. That was the reason why. It wasn't because of their playing ability or they weren't willing to take a chance on them and work with them and make them better. It just a lot of different things that were going on. And so now we're opening it up for the kids to be able to do some things that were on JV and varsity that didn't make the team.
That's awesome.
It's important. It's awesome. And it's important, especially everybody's cooped up and everybody's tensions are high. A lot of sports weren't being played last year because of what's going on. So anything that can be offered like that is awesome.
Absolutely. It's just something. It's just an outlet, like sports is just like a little bit of an escape, you can let out some, pent up frustration.
Well, that's like Tom. So
nothing more relaxing than a batting cage.
You'll have to come up. You'll have to come up. When you come up, I'll get you in the batting cage. But you got to come up like during the wintertime when it's like when we start really getting packed up there. Because I'm used to standing at the counter and people coming in, the parents are there while their kids are practicing. I'll go out, walk around, and talk to the parents. We'll talk football, baseball, softball, whatever. I don't have that this year. And I said, it's just, I tell the parents and everybody that are in there that drop their kids off, I'm like, that's my normalcy. My normal is being able to talk to people. I can't do that. I haven't done that in a year.
Right. I can't imagine.
And I think that's like everybody, and we're getting close. Obviously, this is a sports edition, but New York State did say on March 19th, they will be allowing bars and restaurants to open up at 75% capacity, which I think is a nice thing. But at the same time, it's confusing for smaller places because they still have to supposedly adhere to the 6-foot distancing rule. And then you can't open up at 75% if you're a smaller establishment, but it's a step forward. We'll see what's going on. And hopefully some of our friends like Adventure Family Fun Center, who's a great sponsor of this show, they'll be able to get back and going as well. They took a huge hit this summer, and they were great and generous enough to sponsor our shows as we did a code for them for the outdoor go-karting. But hopefully they can get their situation set up so they can be open back in the inside, and we'll probably try to do a remote or two from inside as Hank and I are good friends with them. All right, let's get right into the show. We talked a little, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we talked a little bit about Cam. Cam is obviously returning and appears to applaud Patriots free agent spending. Now, what is interesting about this whole thing, too, is he's getting a $14 million a year contract. Now, before we get into the full details and Tom's rundown, too, on some of the things and what Hank has to say, I think they believe in him only for the fact they gave him a $7 million contract for 1 year last year. They doubled his contract for this year. So I think they do believe in him. Now, again, you could say, well, if they really believed in him, they give him a 2 or 3 year contract. But again, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We also know that his performance wasn't the best this year. You want to use the excuse of COVID, no practice time, which I've stated numerous times. But obviously doubling his contract for a 1 year contract from 7 to 14 is pretty big, I think. The teams reportedly agreed to deals with linebacker Matthew Judon, defensive lineman Henry Henderson, and David Godchuk, wide receivers Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar. Thank you. I know I'm going to ruin these names. Tight end Juno Smith and defensive back Jalen Mills. Now, and obviously said tight end Henry Hunter had 60 catches for 613 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2020. Also, Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar in tight end, as I said. Bourne had 49 catches for 667 yards and 2 touchdowns for the San Francisco 49ers in 2020. Aguilar had 48 catches for 896 yards and 8 touchdowns in a revitalized season for the Las Vegas Raiders. As well, Smith had 41 catches for 448 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2020 with the Tennessee Titans. This kind of inspires me in a way, like maybe we're going to go right to Aaron Rodgers because we've talked about how the team doesn't seem to take care of him. Cam's excited about this offensive. They're taking care of him. They're making great moves. Now, I don't want to keep saying why aren't the Packers doing this? But again, that's whatever's happening. But I think not only is it just a 1 year double money contract, I think they want to keep Cam. I think it's almost, we're going to give you some offense. We're going to give you some key things that you need. And you're really going to have to prove yourself this year, because if you don't prove yourself after 14 million, you're out the door. You have no excuses when we're starting giving you the weapons you need. If you can't produce after this year, you might as well go paint houses next year.
Right. But they've got salary cap room there. That's the thing. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Packers just restructured, I think like 10 or 12 of their players from their starting left guard to their running backs and stuff like that, so that they could re-sign their running backs and give the quarterback more money.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't announced that yet. I mean, that's going to be the next thing. They're going to give him more money to do it. They got Aaron Jones. They just re-signed him. So, they had to make room. The Pats have got room. They got rid of Brady,
but they're using.
I'm pretty sure a lot of Cam, like some of Cam's deals incentive laden. Like he's got to perform a certain level to get all of the money. Like it's not like he's just getting all that like right off the bat. But it's like, but you are right. They're actually like giving him something to work with, because that was the thing. Like Cam looked like crap. I don't think he's ever going to be like Alice. I agree with Al. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be like MVP Cam Newton again. But I mean, if you could protect him a little bit, maybe give him a few weapons to throw to, he could probably win the Pats more games than he won last year.
But also I think the COVID thing came into play, and I think that they sat there and said, "This is our guy." I mean, in watching a lot of the NFL and watching a lot of this frenzy going on with the free agency, it's you've got quarterbacks moving all over the place. So it's like, do you want a guy that's already been here a year that we already know, that knows the format that we're running with Josh Daniels and now they've got Matt back.
But also there's not like, I feel like they didn't really have many options other than, I don't think the Niners are going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. And then what you do is you bring Cam back really cheap, and then they have the 15th pick in the draft. Take one of the quarterbacks that'll probably wind up sitting there at 15. There'll be a young quarterback in the draft you can just get. You don't got to start him right away and sit him behind Cam for a year.
Wasn't Brady round 15 too back in the day?
He was like a 6th round draft pick or something like that.
I thought he was even higher than that. I thought he was even.
He's like late. He was late in the draft, like way late. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, draft a quarterback, let him sit behind Cam Newton at least for a year. He's Cam's a cheap option. Like, you didn't have to spend that much to get him to come back. Like, who else was going to sign him?
Right.
Maybe Washington. Maybe Washington would have tried, but they got this magic now.
And we know Belichick likes the land of the misfit toys. He likes taking in players and working with them and making them into stars. I mean,
he figures out the one thing that they're really, really good at and just exploits it the whole time. Right.
I don't know if Cam necessarily needs as much protection because he can run, but again,
not like he used to though. No. He can't. Like, Cam's not the same player that he was when he was like in his glory days in Carolina. The dude's been beat up a whole bunch because he took a beating when he was in Carolina. So because he ran. I understand that. I think the his arm's not as good.
The team's still adjusting to a quarterback that can run. So I think that's going to help.
Well, this is basically like a new team. Like, he's got he's got essentially like a whole new offense that he's going to be running with, and hopefully they have more than just N'Keal Harry,
Right. And hopefully they can practice, and hopefully I see good things happening. It's too early to tell. But I'll predict that they'll at least make it into the playoffs this year. I really think that they will.
It's gonna, it is gonna kind of be tough because it all depends. I think the Bills will still win the division. I don't think that they're better than Buffalo. I think they'll probably be better than the Jets. Unless the Jets
that's
trade
not saying much.
Unless the Jets trade for Russell Wilson, then we have no idea what happens.
Wouldn't that be a hoot? Holy crap! Wouldn't that be that would be awesome.
Well, actually, this is what I meant to bring up. So they were saying, who was it? It was Jeff Howe. He's on Twitter at Jeff. Jeff, I think he's say Howe, but he was saying that all these contracts that the Patriots have been putting together, like signing people, they're all structured really like friendly to the Pats, that they do technically have enough cap room to go out and trade for Deshaun Watson. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Bill Belichick lets Tom Brady walk and then goes trades for Deshaun Watson right in the Jets' face?
That would be nuts.
Jets fans may jump into the Hudson River head first.
I was going to say stranger things have happened, but I don't know. That might be right up there.
It's definitely not going to happen because the Pats don't have a lot to. I don't think they have a lot to trade. Like, I don't know what they would give up to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. That would be better than what the Jets could give up, or anybody else could give up. But I don't know. That'd be crazy.
Whoever wants to go to the Jets. I don't think anybody wants to go to the Jets.
Well, but that's the thing that they might though, because everybody it's still the Jets and they're still a dumpster fire, but everybody believes they have a good head coach now. Apparently they have a good GM, or some might have a good GM. We'll see because it's still the Jets, but this happens every few years. The Jets get a new head coach. They get a new front office. Everybody gets all excited about them. And then,
nothing happens. All right. Well, let's move right on. Well,
they were talking about today that they were saying that Deshaun Watson's going to be the guy. So,
well, for the Jets?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's they've been rumoring that for like a few months, but I don't know. They got to make it happen. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe Deshaun Watson's actually going to be a Jet when I see it. I think they're going to draft somebody like Zach Wilson or something. They said that what's his name? Joe Douglas came from the Ravens, like the Ravens or Ozzie Newsome, that he always Ozzie Newsome as a GM always just built through the draft. So they don't know if he's going to want to trade like 4 first-round picks or 3 or 4 first-round picks just for one player,
Right. We'll see what happens with the moves. There's definitely going to be. There's a lot of room still for a lot of moves.
I don't know, Hank. Would you do that? Would you give up? Would you give up 3 or 4 first-round picks for one quarterback, Deshaun Watson, like top 5 best? Like,
I wouldn't give it up just for one quarterback. I mean, I would want some other things in there too.
Even though even though you're the New York Jets, you haven't had a good quarterback since what, Chad Pennington?
Yeah, but you got to have the weapons around it. So I mean, if you can get
well, they got Corey. They just got Corey Davis, which is, I mean, it's okay at Tennessee. Like they have like the second most cap room in all of the NFL. It goes the Jaguars and then the Jets. So if you go try and trade for Deshaun Watson, you know, you can still put the pieces around him.
Yeah, but you still got to have some trade. You still have to have something else that you can trade. Money is not the only thing. So you got to, you know, you got to have something to give up in order to do that. And draft picks right now are, you know, it's like having the money in the bank thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they'll have to give up the second overall pick and then probably another, like, one of their first this year. Because like you got to try. You're gonna have to get more than what you got from Matthew Stafford. You know, Matthew Stafford got, you know,
right. But a number 2 pick in this year's draft is like having the number 1 pick for 3 times over.
Exactly, because they're gonna just take whoever the quarterback
class is gonna be like.
Yeah,
so
they're
I
just
mean,
take the quarterback.
That's big.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's go on to our next. Sean Payton expects Jameis Winston, Tyson Hill to compete for New Orleans Saints starting quarterback job because Drew Brees retired. Now, in a statement the other day, Drew said he's not quitting football because he is now going to be on a new team, and he will be with NBC Sports, be working with them and doing many other major events, including the Olympics. And the one funny thing is his son commented on his tweet going, "Thanks, Dad. Now you can spend more time with us." But what does that really mean for the Saints? The Saints re-signed Winston on Monday, agreeing to one-year deal worth up to $12 million with the 2013 Heisman Trophy winner. Hill is heading into the final season of his 2-year, $21 million contract as well. I've always been, the Saints are always like my second team. I've always loved the Saints. They've always been that strong team. Obviously, they've only made it to the Super Bowl. They've only won the Super Bowl once during Katrina, actually, how ironic that is. This year, though, do you think, guys, that we'll go with you, Hank, first. Do you think now that Brees is gone, are we going to probably consider the team's going to be like, okay, this is going to be a rebuilding year? We're not going to take the chance and thinking that we're even going to make it to the playoffs, that we got to rebuild our team at this point?
I think that Sean Payton showed us last year when he put Tyson Hill in there over Jameis Winston when Brees was out. I think he showed you the writing on the wall that that's who he's going to go to when this happened. And now that it's happened, I think you're going to see, like you said, you're going to see Winston and him and Hill fighting it out for it. But I think in the end of the day, I think that Payton knows who his starting quarterback is going to be, unless somebody else were to drop into his lap.
Is Winston the answer for the Saints?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, no
right,
shit.
but then you got to look at it. If you got Russell Wilson and you got Hill, you got 2 scrambling quarterbacks. You got a guy that can be a running back in the backfield with Wilson.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so you got Wilson at quarterback and you got Hill in the running back or the slot or whatever. That's a double weapon right there. That's a double-edged sword.
Is Winston the answer for the Saints or no?
No.
Do you think
no? Well, okay. Here's the thing. If I'm just going to go ahead and play devil's advocate, name me one good coach that Jameis Winston had in his whole career. Other than Bruce Arians, his 30-30 season, he did have Bruce Arians, but it was for 1 year. He only had Bruce Arians 1 year. Right. Every other person that Jameis Winston had in the NFL, garbage head coach, I would argue. Where are they now? Nowhere. They're not they're probably a coordinator somewhere. You know, so I'm not saying Jameis Winston's going to be better than Drew Brees, but I think he, with a good coach like Sean Payton, could be better than he was in Tampa. Because it's not saying much, I guess.
I don't think he's there yet, though. That's the thing. I don't think
he's got to get, but he's got to get there at some point. He's been in the league for what, like 6 years now?
Right, but if Sean Payton was confident in him, he would have been the guy when Drew Brees went down. He would have put Winston in there. I don't think that Winston in that format with them yet is.
But he's
ready
got a
to
year
be there.
under. But now he's got a year under his belt. He's
Right.
going to have a full off season. He's going to have a whole season he learned from the Saints behind Drew Brees. He's going to have this whole off season. He's going to have training camp going in. Sean Payton did say that they were going to be competing for the starting job. So, I mean, I think he could get it. I mean, the best coaching is important because like I say, always say Ryan Tannehill was garbage in Miami. And now he's getting the Titans into the playoffs. Like maybe Jameis Winston just needs a good coach behind him and he can be a reasonable quarterback, like the quarterback that everybody thought he would be when he got drafted, you know?
True.
Or they just go get Russell Wilson because they can't rebuild because they got Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara there. They can't just rebuild unless they're trading those off to, cash in on those assets.
Wilson seems to be a hot commodity all over the NFL at this point. He seems to be the hottest thing. Everybody's going for him.
but everybody's filling their spots. Look, his list was the Saints, the Bears, the Raiders, the Cowboys.
Yes.
And I think is that it? There might be one more
I
team.
think that was it.
Cowboys re-signed Dak.
Right.
Bears got Big Red, Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
Raiders.
we'll talk about that in a bit.
They said they love Derek Carr. And
Tyrod Taylor just went.
Last one is the Saints. Saints, they need a quarterback.
The Texans, if Deshaun Watson went anywhere, then it would have been who was going to be backing him up. But now you got Tyrod Taylor that's going there.
Yeah.
From the Chargers.
Yeah.
He just signed a deal with them.
And the Raiders quarterback is decent. I believe in him. I think he's got a good arm. He's not
better than Russell Wilson. He's not like Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson is like top 5 in all the league. Yeah. Derek Carr is probably like 15. I don't know. He's not that high.
Yeah, I think I'd still put him in the top 10. He's reliable and consistent. I really would still put him in the top 10, even at
you could argue it. Yeah, and I'm not gonna
even just at 10 at this point. I mean, he's right there. But the Saints could be it. Well, again, there's lot's going to happen this year because I feel, and I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think this year, no matter who won the Super Bowl, who played, I think a lot of coaches and teams are saying right now, you know what? It's kind of the COVID year, kind of this, it went away. It's done. Let's get back to the regular season and really stick to our guns. And this is what we're going to do and come out hard in this season. So there's going to be a lot of changes. Are we going to see the Steelers almost go undefeated again? Probably not even close. Are we going to see Cleveland Browns make it as far as they did? Probably not. I think the other teams and the money that's being spent in the trades that are being made, that the strong teams are now just going to get stronger. And then the Jets, we'll see what happens with the Jets. I think it's could be one of the most exciting seasons of football we've probably seen in years. I think because of all these moves and trades. Go ahead.
It officially starts tomorrow, the new season.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that. And it starts before baseball.
Yeah.
Well, the league year, baseball league year started months ago.
I know.
I didn't say that.
I did. I said that. I'll take. Hey, I got big shoulders. All right, everybody. When we come back, we're going to be talking Texas Rangers. Oh man,
why?
I know.
I thought you said
there's no baseball
news.
No, I was trying to be nice. And I'll throw him a bone. I'll throw him a ball.
I appreciate it.
I would never do that to you, Tom. I would never do that. And again, we're going to be talking more about the NFL free agency. Andy Dalton, obviously. Breaking news, actually, before we did the article, it was kind of a rumor, but Andy Dalton is going definitely to the Bears. All that and more. And it's brought to you by Body Armor. DrinkBodyArmor.com. Visit their website to find a location near you.
Calling it a day, Carrie?
Oh no, there's more.
Like what?
More reps, more steps. More this, more that. More time to breathe. More hustle, more grind.
There's more to Carrie Underwood.
And I should wrap by midnight.
Impressive.
And there's more to Body Armor Light with natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tuesday night edition. Today we did a sports edition with Mr. Tom Greer and Snaps. We're going to start off this this last segment of the show. We're going to start it off with Today in Sports History, brought to you by Mr. Tom Greer, but it is also sponsored by their Shirt Factory. Visit the shirtfactorygf.com for a lot of their amazing vendors and events going on, and they have a brand new one this year. Hopefully, I'd like to see this happen every year. This is kind of a fun event. Go ahead.
It's actually not brand new.
Oh, it is not? I don't remember it last year.
No, I don't know if they had it last year because of COVID.
Gotcha. Well, it's new this year.
And the reason that I know that they have done that is because Benjamin, my son, and his lovely girlfriend met at the very first meltdown.
Isn't that cute? Aw, a love connection while having spicy food. Awesome. Well, anyway, it's new. It's new this year. It's the 2021 Winter Meltdown Spicy Food Day, March 20th at 10 a.m. Admission is free. Now, there's going to be a lot of food vendors inside. Obviously, since the name, it's the Spicy Food Day. So if you're into spicy foods and like things hot, what a better way to do something like that in March? Come explore new flavors from local food trucks and vendors while help support the local backpack program in a safe, socially distant setting. Now, I said last week that we got more information. So I'm going to, each episode, we're going to feature one or two vendors that will be here at the Shirt Factory for the meltdown. So tonight's featured vendor is going to be the Hungry Traveler. Make its first stop of the 2021 season right here at the Meltdown Spicy Food Day. Great juicy burgers, smothered fries. Grab some great food from their truck. Their menu, you can check them out at the hungrytraveler.com. They have burgers, American bacon, bacon blue cheese, Bayou, Memphis, Gonzalola, Green Bay Gondola, Brewhouse, wraps, the Cajun wrap, the Chipotle, Buffalo, Smoke Mountain, Phillies, Classic Deluxe, Chipotle, Pork, and Buffalo. And I'm sure there's even more sides to their offerings. So check them out. All that and more information, go over to shirtfactorgf.com. And if you need any more information, they're more than happy to help you out with that. And like I said, it'll be social distance. You got to wear your masks. Tables will be spaced out appropriately. You just have to wear your mask until eating. So, Mr. Tom Greer, take it away in Today in Sports History.
Okay, Today in Sports History, taking us back to 1876. Nellie Saunders and Rose Harland fight first female boxing match in the state of New York, which is pretty insane. I didn't think that two women would actually ever be stepping foot in a boxing ring in 1876, but
is there video footage of that?
That's bananas. I wish there was video footage.
Yeah, 1876. Yeah, there's video.
They got the
put them up.
1900, the AL meets in Chicago. Ban Johnson announces the American League will be the Chicago White Stockings, the Washington Senators, Milwaukee Brewers, Detroit Tigers, Cleveland Blues, Boston Americans, Philadelphia Athletics, and the Baltimore Orioles.
How funny the names have changed. Yeah. How some of the teams have kept their names, but somehow like the Washington Senators, the Chicago White Stockings, and the Cleveland Blues. I love hearing the old names.
I wonder if they decide to go back to the Cleveland Blues because they're going to be changing the Indians' name.
No, that's true.
Because the Indians' name is definitely getting changed. They did announce it. They're just playing. I think they're just playing through it this year, and then they're going to change the name next year. Maybe. I don't know if the team had moved. They might not have the rights to that name anymore, but I don't know. It's just a thought. 1957, the Toronto Maple Leafs tie an NHL record of 37 points, beating the New York Rangers, and I love this, 14-1. Woof.
1957. That's nuts. That's not fun for anybody to watch, let alone play.
Well, that's fun for I know I wasn't even not nowhere close to born. I don't have any connection to those teams. But seeing the Rangers getting beat 14-1, I will watch on repeat. 1969, the Boston Bruins scored an NHL record 8 goals in one period. 1996, Mike Tyson TKOs Frank Bruno in the third round to gain the heavyweight title. And 2020. Today is when they had to suspend the baseball season for the remainder of spring training and then all the way until late July before the season started again. But that's not happening this year. 16 more days.
16 more days. That's right. It's when that's when hell starts for us.
That's when Francisco Lindor takes the field. He's one of the 5 best players in all of baseball for the New York Mets. I'm even wearing my Pete Alonso Roosevelt shirt today because he hit a freaking moonshot in spring training.
Well, let's
He
keep the
freaking
topic
hit it
on-
to Georgia.
let's keep the topic going with baseball. Texas Rangers allowing 100% capacity at stadium for opening day. Texas Rangers on Wednesday announced that they will allow 100% capacity at Globe Life Field for their home opener in Arlington. The announcement comes a week after Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced he was rescinding the state's mask mandate and opening Texas up 100%. No, we're not going to have the social distance seats available for opening day because we made a commitment to everybody, mainly season ticket holders, that they could hold tickets if we would allow them for the proper opening day. Executive Vice President and Chief Revenue and Marketing Officer Joe, not going to say that last name, told the MLB. We're going on to that. So in order to do that, obviously we would have to be open at full capacity. Like Florida, Texas has not been the best with COVID. Major high outbreaks. Obviously New York State is not a mandate. It's a suggestion. We weren't ever on lockdown. We were on pause. Obviously it's all a bunch of terminology, but again, it was a suggestion. It wasn't a mandate. Texas. And then if you go to Florida, I don't even think they knew that COVID even was existing. But Texas, on the other hand, they made a mandate where you have to wear masks. I'm not really sure how to take this. I mean, I'd be glad to see stadiums full capacity. It's time, maybe, but I'm not sure if that particular state, and I don't know the numbers right off the bat either. I haven't looked at the recent numbers when I saw this article, if that particular state might be the best state to do that. And if they do this and there becomes an outbreak, that sets the rest of the league on edge.
Yeah.
And could make some serious problems moving forward, and even having 50% capacity in the stadiums. Hank, what do you think about that?
It's an outdoor environment. I mean, if they do it the right way, then, if everybody's, and that's the thing, if everybody's following the protocols that they want in there, I think that's one of the things that you said, that they've got to have their mask on.
No mask on. There's no mask. There's no more mandate to wear.
And they must have changed that, because I heard that I think it was last week, like after we had the show, that they had said that they were going to do that, but they had to have masks. So they've changed it since then.
Yeah, the announcement comes after a week after Texas Governor Abbott announced he was rescinding the state's mask mandate. So last week sometime he rescinded that mandate. So I just think full capacity is a little much.
Like I'm all for letting people, like I hope they let people, like I want to go to Citi Field this year. Like letting people in the ballpark's awesome, because Hank's right. It is an outdoor thing. It's easier to control a little bit. You're not in like a dome or nothing, but I still think a full capacity is a lot. Like how many? I'm gonna Google how much their stadium actually holds.
So let's devil's advocate. Now we can't prove this. I guess we can or can't, but there has been nothing stated through the NFL season of the stadiums that have allowed fans in there that there's been a COVID outbreak. Now, that doesn't mean that people that went to the games didn't get COVID. It's kind of hard to trace or track that. But again, there was nothing really, there was no who to who about, oh my God, 45 people or 50 people went to the Chicago Bear game or whatever NFL game and they got COVID from the game. We didn't hear that. Now, all three of us expected to hear that. Mainly Hank really was expecting to hear like, man, there's going to be a COVID outbreak coming out in the stadiums. And if anything, it was the players that got COVID. But again, it's so hard to trace and track that.
But the thing is they didn't let everybody into the stadium. I want to take a guess how many people could fit into Globe Life Stadium, the new Rangers park? Like packed house, 100%.
110?
49,115 people.
Okay, so I was way overboard. Okay, yeah.
But it's still, that's still a lot of people for like the COVID world,
Right.
But I thought that in the statement that they made when they announced that after the mandate was lifted, I thought that the stadium said they were still, however, going to make it mandatory inside the stadium that they wore masks.
We can report more on that. I did not see that in the article.
The Ranger, yeah, okay. No, I just found an article that says the Texas Rangers themselves are going to require you wear a mask in the stadium. Okay. So the governor's not he's lifting their mask mandate, but the Rangers themselves are like, hey, if you're coming, just wear a mask.
Now that could be the problem. Now that could be the same problem that Walmart has with their people going in, going, you can't make. Hey, You can't make me wear it. You know how that deal goes. So I'm wondering if that could be the cause. That could cause a problem where.
But you're not paying admission to get. You're not paying admission to get into Walmart.
I understand that. You're still also walking into a private establishment as well. So it's
correct.
It's the same thing.
It'll probably be printed on the back of the ticket, like must
right.
Like must wear a mask.
And how are you going to
everybody's
control
digital
that?
now? What am I talking about? What do you mean?
How are you gonna control that? 49,000 people. What are you gonna get security people to tell people to put their mask on when they sit down? That's gonna be the hard part.
Totally.
Or it's gonna be what's gonna happen is it's gonna be the person sitting next to you getting mad at you because you took your mask off and be like, hey, put your goddamn mask on, and then there's gonna be a fight ensues because one person decides to take their mask off.
True.
I would, you know what? I would say don't bother wearing the mask. I think because this could cause an issue. I think this could cause an issue for the NFL, for Major League Baseball. If it goes smooth, then awesome. I'm thumbs up for it. Then pave the way. But if there's one incident that really could set the trend for the rest of the season for baseball.
But they hold the rights to do that. It's on the back of your tickets. It's
I understand that.
You go to purchase your ticket. They have the right to do that.
I'm not arguing that. That's not anything that I'm arguing. I'm arguing the fact that people don't listen, or they're gonna I'm taking the mask off the minute I go through the door and sit in my seat.
Yeah, but I don't think that's enough to say don't. I don't think that's enough to just say don't mandate a mask rule if you're the Texas Rangers, because you're at least showing that you are, doing something about it. Like you are going to let 49,000, you will potentially let 49,000 people into your stadium, but you're at least doing your best to, make those people still safe.
They're being proactive.
There's always going to be but the thing, it's the world here. Like there's always going to be jerks. There's always going to be assholes. So like, you can't just run, you can't just, let it ruin everything.
I agree. I just hope that the incidents, if there's any incidences, that it causes backlash for the rest of the league. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I understand. But I don't think nobody's like, I don't think anybody else is really going to do this. I think even in the same state, I think the Astros are going to be, they're still going to be limited capacity. Most of the stadiums, if they're going to let people in, they're going to be limited capacity, so I don't think anybody else, really is going to have this issue. Maybe until later in the summer, because apparently we're all supposed to be vaccinated by May?
Yeah, May or June.
That might be different.
I know you're vaccinated. We'll see what happens. And it's weird how the Rangers decided to do it. I mean, it's kind of ballsy on their part, especially in the beginning of the opening day and the beginning of the season. But hey, it is what it is. Let's hope it goes well.
I hope so. I want to go to a baseball game this year. I need to go to Citi Field. I haven't been to Citi Field in 2 years, since 2 years ago.
Well, sadly, the governor in our state controls whether or not people can be in stadiums or not. So
we're gonna be allowed to go to Mets games.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be allowed to go to Mets games. I don't know how many people. I don't know the size of the crowds, but we're definitely gonna be able to go to Met games.
We will be there with you at least for one weekend time. We will come down with you. Definitely come down.
I'm with it.
I would love to.
Can't wait for the tickets to be like $500, but we'll see.
Shit, right? Yeah, make up for last year.
Yeah.
You get a free hot dog with it, though.
Oh, okay. You get a free hot dog, and if I pay 25 cents or like $25 extra, I get a little mini helmet with maybe ice cream in it.
Hell yeah.
With one maraschino cherry in it.
Yeah, but no spoon because we can't afford the plastic.
No spoon.
All right, lastly, coming up, NFL Free Agency 2021. Andy Dalton drawing interest from Bears, not expected to return to the Cowboys. As we were putting this show together, that's definitely true. Right now, it was rumored that he wasn't going to go anywhere, but it has been confirmed. Having already seen veteran signings like Cam Newton's return to the New England Patriots, the Washington football team signing Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston staying put in the New Orleans Saints, the Bears are feeling the pressure to buy quarterback insurance as the free agency clock rapidly ticks. Well, they've definitely taken care of that. What do you think this means for the Bears? Is he enough to give them? Obviously, they have some decent weapons, but I don't think they have extraordinary weapons. But does this make them a player, a contender?
Andy Dalton had more weapons in Dallas, and they looked like crap. The Bears are doomed. Like it's gonna be Andy Dalton versus Mitchell Trubisky for the starting job. That's what it's gonna be. They're not just gonna give it to Andy Dalton.
You don't think so?
No, he sucks. He's not good anymore, and he wasn't even that great when he was with the Bengals.
Why take him?
Because he's cheap and he's a stopgap. Because you don't have any other options.
So go back and take Russell.
What do you mean, Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they tried. According to ESPN, they tried really hard. They tried as hard as they could to get Russell Wilson, but the Seahawks told them we're not trading him right now.
Right. Seahawks know. I think the Hawks know what they got. They know what they got.
Well,
I don't know if that'll help them.
Russell Wilson won him a Super Bowl. They don't have to trade him. He didn't demand a trade. He said that if you were going to trade me here.
Right.
You know, so they don't have to do anything. But if somebody blows them away with a trade, they'll probably give him up.
What do you think, Hank?
I think the Packers are going to be the NFC North champions again.
Oh, wow. Really going out on a limb there.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, you really got some stiff competition up in the NFC North. Andy Dalton, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's
it made me smile when they announced that they were signing him. I was like, yes.
That's a real rough.
Now you got Trubisky, you got Foles, and you got Andy Dalton. So
Foles is gonna be gone. They're gonna let him go somewhere.
I think they're gonna get rid of Trubisky.
Shots fired by Tom Greer, and somebody goes down.
Yeah, I mean, like, this really going out on a limb saying, oh, yeah, the Packers are going to win the NFC North. Of course they're going to win the NFC North.
Wouldn't it be funny if they
Who's
didn't?
beat them? Who's actually a good contender in the NFC North? Maybe the Vikings, but Kirk Cousins is a bum, so that's probably not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any predictions on. There's too many changes right now. I really swear anything's up for grabs right now.
Death, taxes, Packers win the NFC North. Those are the three certainties in life.
Al wants to know who goes to the Finns as a backup because he is a Finns fan. A lot available. They've been out of the news. They've been out of the news. They've been pretty quiet.
Hold on, I'm trying to see the rest of the quarterbacks that are available.
So obviously this move with the Bears, and it seems to be a fighting position now. Hank, as a player and as a coach and an owner, when you hire a quarterback and let's say he's fighting for the starting job, there's a starting quarterback. How does that work with these two players? How's the player dynamic when let's say he just got hired at the Bears or just got picked by the Bears. Now we don't know if he's going to be starting quarterback. He's got to fight for that role. How's the tension in the locker room? Is there camaraderie, or is the starting quarterback saying, F you, you're not taking my job and I'm not going to help you? Or how does that work?
So you're talking about the NFL versus semi-pro. So
right.
In the NFL, you're being paid to play. So you're always looking over your shoulder when somebody else comes in. So right now you got Foles and Trubisky there. So they just signed Dalton. So that's the writing on the wall for those two.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a fight. If they keep Foles and Trubisky come preseason, then they're going to have, I think they're going to get rid of one of them though. But you have to anticipate that. That's just the nature of the game. You're going to compete for the position. You want it, you got to earn it. So, I mean, that's, there's nothing different than any place else in competition.
So the hiring is the other two would be threatened, going, we better shape up or ship out kind of thing. Like the writing's on the wall, as you said, that somebody's going to get cut.
Right. But, the thing is, once they made this announcement, it's all over social media. Right. And you've got these former NFL players that played for the Bears, and they're making, emojis where they got their hand over their face, and right. They're doing, the shit emojis and everything else. And it's like, they know what they've got, and they just feel like that's not the answer for them. So, like I said, it's going to be a competition, and if it's between Trubisky and Dalton, it's more than likely going to be Dalton if he fits into the mold. If he doesn't, then it's going to be Trubisky. But I think we're going to get rid of him.
How do you think the dynamic personally between these players is? I mean, there's got to be the people that are the established quarterback. Is he already going to be like, F you, don't screw you, I'm going to kick your ass kind of thing? You're not going to take my job, or is it, hey, we're here on a team? Because we know damn well football players have some of the biggest egos there are. We've talked about trash talking on the field, and each person's getting paid, but they cannot be happy. The quarterbacks that are there now cannot be happy about somebody new coming in who one of them is going to get replaced.
But nobody's ever happy when somebody comes in for their position. I mean, we've got locally, we had Adam Terry, who was a Queensbury grad that went on to play at Syracuse, and then he played for the Baltimore Ravens. So, he said it best. I ran into him one day, and he said it best. He goes, you're always looking over your shoulder. He goes, he's 6'8", 330 pounds. All of a sudden they sign a guy that comes in, free agent or a rookie, that's 6'8", 330 pounds, that's younger, faster, whatever. Right. You have to compete for the job. That's the whole thing about being an athlete in professional sports. It's competitive on the team and against the opponent.
Gotcha.
So
That makes
that's
sense.
the way you have to look at it. So
What do you got, Tom? As going back to Al's question, as far as the Finns,
I mean, there isn't really that many left, like free agent quarterbacks. Like Alex Smith is still there. Chase Dan is Mitchell Trubisky actually a free agent, or is he still with the Bears? Because I'm looking at this list at sportstrack.com, and it says that Mitchell Trubisky is a free agent right now.
Ooh.
right, he is a free agent.
He's a free. Oh, so the Bears just aren't going to re-sign him.
Right.
Okay, so there you go,
Okay.
Al. He might
Well
be a
done.
backup. He
There
might be
you
a
go.
backup quarterback.
There you go. There you go. That
AJ
makes sense.
McCarron, Colt McCoy, Blake Griffin III, Matt Barkley, Nate Sudfeld, Joe Flacco. You want Joe Flacco as your backup? Maybe him. I don't know. Spent a season behind Sam Darnold with the Jets. Look better than Sam Darnold, which isn't that great.
Yeah, that's not saying much
That's
either.
not saying much either. But I don't know. I mean, there is a lot of options, but I mean, like, I don't know if there's anybody like worth having a backup. I mean, they should have just kept Fitzpatrick because I don't know. Do they really believe in Tua? I don't think so.
I don't think they did as well. I don't think though. I mean, I
So they're
kind of
probably going to trade for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
those two are the stars right now.
Because they're the top quarterbacks. Like if you're gonna replace your quarterback and not draft somebody, it has to be one of those two. Those are
And
the
they
only
can
two
al-
that are viable. You know,
At this point, though, they can almost call their own shots at this point.
well, that's what Deshaun Watson's trying to do. He's trying to call his own shots, but the Texans are like, no, we're not trading you. Doesn't matter if you're going to sit home and watch it on TV. We're not
And that was
trading
another
you.
scenario. That was another scenario I heard today when I was watching some of these sports things on different channels. Was that if he sits out a year, 2022, his fit's going to be probably in Denver because I got a feeling the Denver coach is going to get fired.
No, Fitz is in. You said Fitzpatrick?
No, they're talking about Deshaun Watson. They're saying if he doesn't
fit.
get what he wants and he's not traded, he could sit out a year. He
That's
could sit
why
out
he'll just pull.
2021.
He'll just pull Le'Veon. He'll just do what Le'Veon did. Yeah.
But then the thing is he'll wait for God, who's the offense coordinator for the Chiefs?
Bieniemy.
Bieniemy. So that was one of the scenarios that they were throwing in there. I think 3 out of the 4 that I watched, the scenario was that Bieniemy is going to go to Denver because they're going to wind up firing the coach at some point, and they're going to hire Bieniemy and bring him in, and then he's going to be the head coach, and then Deshaun Watson will move over to there.
Wouldn't be
Like I said,
surprised.
there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of moves going to be made. I'm sure we're going to be able to report on some awesome moves, awesome or bad moves, but there's a lot of moves. Before we go, Timmy says, "Hey, how do you think Timmy? How do you think the Giants will do this year?" I think it's so soon for us. We don't. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole right now. We got to wait until it gets closer to the season.
I mean, hey, the NFC East is a dumpster division, so anything can happen. They almost won the division, and it's with a 6-10 record. So,
Right.
You know, it's a garbage division. But I mean, I'm not really looking too great when they're 2 big signings or a fullback that can't stay healthy in Texas and Devontae Booker at almost 30-year-old running back. So,
Right. Yeah.
I know they brought
Well,
back
you got,
Leonard.
you got T.Y. Hilton out there.
I don't know. I'm not signing
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton. No, that man is old. He needs a life alert bracelet.
Oh, that's the best.
Go get Kenny Galladay. Sign Kenny Galladay from the Lions. Look at his numbers. His numbers aren't that far off from Calvin Johnson. Go get him. He'll be Plaxico Burress 2.0. Get him. That's what I want.
Tom's on fire today. He's just laying it down.
Because I'm pissed. I genuinely think the Giants have the worst general manager in all of sports. Like Dave Gettleman is a babbling fool, and he's been ruining
Worse than the Jets.
Yes, well, over the past few years, yeah. Now the Giants have been literally the worst team record-wise. Have been the worst team in football for the past 4 years.
Yeah, very true.
And that's worse than the Jets. They've been worse than the Jets, and the Jets just won 1 game. 2 games. I'm sorry, they won 2 games. They won 2 games. I think
Yeah,
they
they
won 2
screwed
games.
themselves out of the number 1 pick.
Yeah, they screwed themselves out of them.
Yeah, that's what it is. They won 2 games. I think the Giants will be better than they are last year. They might be around the same team they were last year, unless they get Kenny Galladay. Then I think they'll be better.
Today's sports rant by Tom Greer is brought to you by Chase's Sports Complex. ChaseSportsComplex.com.
Sorry, we just talk about the Giants, and my hate for Dave Gettleman just fuels.
All right, Timmy, we'll come back to this. We'll definitely, you know what? We always try to do a rundown before the season. We'll try to do a rundown and predictions for each team, but we really got to wait until what happens. They've been pretty quiet. The Finns have been pretty quiet. The Jets have been really quiet with what's going on. We'll see some more moves, and I think we'll be able to give you better predictions. Right now, the Packers are going to win, so that's that's about all we got.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Today with DW, the sports edition with Mr. Tom Greer and Snacks. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight. Obviously, drinkbodyarmor.com. Visit them for a location near you.
I need to get some more body armor.
Yes, we'll take care of you, Tom. Make sure that to try their new sports drink / energy drink, Body Armor Edge. Now, if you saw on my page and on the Today with DW page, we've been getting some photos of some of our listeners that we sent a pack. I sent a 4-pack out to one of our listeners, and she sent photos. So if you guys do go out and drink Body Armor Edge, take a picture of whatever activity you're doing. Keep it nice now. I don't want this is got to be, G rated, not PG, NC 17. I don't want you doing any other crazy stuff with your energy drinks. But if you take a picture, hashtag get your edge and hashtag today with DW, you'll be entered to get a 4-pack free from us. We'll send you Snacks Off Topic. Thanks for all you do for local youth sports. Look at you go. Look at that, Snacks. You just got an endorsement. Look at that.
Thank you.
All right. There it is. Yeah, there you go. But again, if you take a picture, hashtag get your edge and hashtag today with DW, you will be in a running to be chosen to get a 4-pack of Edge free on us. Also want to thank the Shirt Factory.
Can I hop in real quick? Just before I have an answer. I have an answer to Al's question. Al, your backup quarterback is Jacoby Brissett. I forgot they made that signing before we did the show today. That's your backup quarterback.
Oh, there you go. Look at
the Dolphins did it.
Look at that. We're breaking news left and right all day today. Also, our other sponsors, Shirt Factory. Visit shirtfactorygf.com for all their amazing shops and vendors and events. Like I said, this March 20th, this coming Saturday, it's going to be the Spicy Meltdown food event. It starts at 10 o'clock. Admission is free. And I cannot forget, obviously, Chase Sports Complex, as they would just sponsored our Tom Greer rant for the day. Visit chasesportscomplex.com for the hours and operations. And if you have to contact them, you're probably going to be talking to the man that's on the screen right now, Snacks, as he runs the show over there, and he'll be able to take care of you and your family. Like you said, there's volleyball, there's indoor batting cages, many more things. He'll tell you all the hours and operations, and you can visit the site. And like I said, they're offering more and more as we go into the season. So, and as COVID lightens up. Any last words, gentlemen, before we sign off for this evening?
Little more than 2 weeks, and you got to deal with all my baseball garbage.
In 2 weeks, there will be
16 days. 16
in 2
days.
weeks. Today with DW will be a Wednesday through Friday show. There will be no more sports edition. And I lost half my sponsors. But hey, no, I'm kidding. Yes, I can't wait. 16 days until baseball. It is now, just so you know, Tom, because I know you don't listen to the Today with DW show every day. It is part of my national holidays of The More You Know. So as I count down Mother's Day, Easter, baseball's right there. So you got it. You made it. Hank, anything? Snacks, any last words?
I just want to say rest in peace to marvelous Marvin Hagler. I know that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He was a big name when I was growing up when we watched boxing on Saturdays and Sundays. So
64, I believe.
Yes. And unfortunately, another bad number for me.
Oh, boy. All right.
That was my number.
Well, way to bring down the show, Snacks. Thanks a lot on that bombshell. Everybody, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.